Today we got a quick little video for you guys, a little bit different than normal. I just actually got back in from running this UDR, the Ultimate Desert Racer from Traxxas, on 6S for the first time. And not only is that significant because I hadn't run it on 6S yet, we've only been doing 4S, but it's also the first time ever that I have ran any RC car on 6S. And it's quite the unique experience, to say the least. For those of you guys that aren't familiar, when I say 6S, that means that it's running off of a 6-cell lithium polymer battery. In this case, it's actually running off of two 3-cell batteries that are running together to create 6 cells. Long story short, it basically just makes way more power. Now, when I ripped the first battery and I brought it out there, is obviously the first thing that you notice is the intense speed. It is out of this world speed. That's what this thing is known for. It is impressive is honestly the best word that I can describe it with. It is a lot of fun. With the help of the Traxxas stability management that's built in, it's basically a gyro system. It actually is pretty manageable. You can actually manage it depending on what kind of surface. We mostly ran it on grass and we ran it on a little bit of dirt and mud. It definitely helps to have a little bit of loose traction. I think if it has too much traction, it's gonna be a little bit intense. It'll roll really easy when you turn it. The power, while very, very impressive, it's also a ton of fun and you get comfortable very, very quickly. Like I said, with that Traxxas stability management, it's basically an onboard driver assist. It has gyros inside that helps you keep that nose straight as the back end's trying to spin out behind you. And for kind of amateur beginner drivers like myself, it really, really is beneficial. That being said, with all that help and almost a handicap, you inevitably get very, very comfortable very, very quickly. And before you know it, you're doing high-speed passes at full throttle. You're eyeing up some huge jumps that you just made out of some makeshift materials that you found in the trash. And before you know it, you're launching this thing into the air, which brings me to my next point. I think once you get to a certain level of size and speed, at least for me personally, this is just my personal opinion, I think that there is like some diminishing returns. Now, don't get me wrong, that is just me, and I think that a lot of people are going to spend the expensive price that this truck is. It's like still a $600-700, by the time you're all said and done, $800-900 truck with batteries and everything. I think that there are people out there who will spend that money and absolutely enjoy every penny spent. Now, for me personally, and just to be fully transparent, this truck was sent to us, so I didn't even personally spend my own money on it. But that being said, while I'm driving it, I still get a sick to my stomach feeling every time that this thing launches into the air and I biff the landing and it goes rolling across the ground like Ricky Bobby. I think the biggest thing, especially for people out there who maybe are considering getting into the hobby, maybe somebody who's new to the hobby and also has a little bit of cash that they're working with and is considering looking at something like this. When you compare this to a lot of other hobbies, like say four-wheelers or ATVs, $800 to get a top-of-the-line off-road recreational vehicle, it's actually not too bad. And so if you are one of those people who has a little bit of cash, so that's not a big deal, I do think that you will enjoy it. But the thing about something that has this much power, you kind of have to have a lot more responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. The whole idea, as soon as you get this out of the box, is you're thinking, wow, this thing goes 50 miles an hour, or 60, however fast they advertise it goes. From day one, from the very first battery, that's in the back of your mind, and you're thinking about that, and you get more comfortable, and you get more comfortable, and you keep pushing it, and you keep pushing it. Today, for example, the first time ever running it on 6S, the very first battery pack that I ran through it, I immediately gravitated towards the jump, as you do, as most people do. I'm an inexperienced driver and I crashed quite a few times and eventually it broke. I actually had a mid-air collision, believe it or not, with a quadcopter. Somehow it ended up breaking on landing. I don't think it was actually from the impact of the quadcopter, but in that crash, it ended up breaking an entire plastic wheel off and it broke one of the front drive shafts. Again, not huge deals, but it was a little bit of time and a little bit of money to get me back running again. It is extremely, extremely durable. But that being said, it's also extremely powerful and extremely heavy. It has a ton of energy and a ton of momentum. Inevitably, depending on where you are going to crash into something that you don't intend to. For me personally, I'm on a budget when it comes to experiencing this hobby. I like keeping my cars around and keeping them nice. And with a car that is designed and purpose built to go fast, crash hard, and jump things, it is very difficult to keep a car like this in nice order. Now, I do know that there are a lot of experienced hobbyists out there and experienced drivers out there who keep these things meticulous. They've gotten there after many years of experience and many years of doing what I did today and crashing. The moral of the story is is that the amount of fun that you can have is not determined by price and size and speed. I had a ton of fun with this today. Some of the most fun actually that I've ever had with the RC hobby. But you know what's right up there with it on the fun factor scale is the $50 micros that you guys have seen us use, the Amazon specials from China. The fun factor comes in a lot of different forms, and with this one it is in performance, it's in size, and it's in speed, and you do have a ton of fun. It comes at the cost of obviously an expensive truck, but also you have to have that responsibility of driving it well, because if you don't, there's going to be consequences, and that's part of the hobby. And obviously I actually enjoyed fixing it. Fixing that front drive shaft was honestly a treat. It was like one screw, I popped it out, I just had to undo one pin, and boom, I had a whole new drive shaft and my car was back running. The broken wheel on the back, I literally just took one of these tires off the back of the thing, just like a real trophy truck, and replaced it, and I was back out there. And even the more intense repairs, like for example right now after we ran it in the mud, the next thing that went wrong was the rear differential case seems to be slipping now. So I think I stripped out a gear back there. I'm gonna have to crack that open and see what's going on in there. It's literally like working on a real truck. That is something that a lot of people enjoy. A lot of people like working on the trucks just as much as they like running the trucks. And I'm more of a driver, just like with my flying stuff. I like flying better than building. The maintenance and the working on the truck thing, it is growing on me, and it is something that you can learn to do if you have no experience. Overall, my personal opinion on 6S, is it for me? While I do have a ton of fun with it, and I totally understand why people love it, I don't think it's personally for me. Like if it was my own money, I don't necessarily think I would. Now, a lot of you guys who have been watching our videos, you guys know that I've really been enjoying crawling, and I've really also recently been enjoying drifting as a new hobby. Those are very, very fun little corners of the hobby, and the thing that I like about those is because you can push those cars to do what they were designed to do without really risking the well-being of the vehicle too much. The drift cars do not go fast. You typically are in a very controlled environment. If you do run into a wall, it's not going to be the end of the world. You're not breaking stuff in half. The crawlers, they have a ton of torque and a ton of power, but not very much speed. The whole idea with a crawler is to drive it and make it look like a real vehicle. Drive it as if it was an actual real vehicle. So this is just a little bit different flavor, and I totally respect that. It's a lot of fun, but personally for me, and I think for a lot of people out there, I think that you can have just as much fun without having to risk the well-being of your investment. Because for a lot of people, even if you do have $700-800 to spend, chances are most people are going to have like one RC car. And so my whole point with making this video is you just got to decide on what kind of experience you're looking to get. Something like this, it is very fun, but this is for like the adrenaline junkies. This is for the people that are full throttle junkies. They want to go fast, and they want to, you know, have the top performance, and they want to push the limits, and they're also willing to take that time and money to fix it when it goes wrong, because it does. It's just a part of the hobby. So it's just a little bit of preference is the best way to put it. So that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to share this experience. I was honestly just trying it because I was excited. I finally got 2 3-cell batteries to run this thing on 6S. I had never done it before, and after doing it, I just had some thoughts, and I figured I'd take this time to share it with you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it connected with some of you guys out there who are maybe thinking about purchasing your first RC car, because there's a lot of different directions you can go in the surface industry. There's even more than what I even covered in this video. Hopefully this will give you guys some things to think about when you're thinking about diving into the hobby. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also hit the notification bell to let you know every time we post a new video. And thanks for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it. Let us know if you like this style of content. This is a little bit different taste than our normal style content, so let us know if you like it. If you don't, let us know what new products and RC surface tech you guys would like to see on the channel. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.